Thousands of you have given me your feedback. The yoga videos that are out there just aren't designed for real beginners. They go too fast, the poses aren't broken down, transitions aren't properly explained. After listening to your feedback for over 3 years, I've put together the ultimate series to make learning yoga at home safe, easy, and fun. We're going to see each pose broken down, go at an achievable pace, and I'll be sharing answers to common questions and pitfalls along the way. And I have Jalen here, helping me out, who's never done yoga before in his life. If he can do it, so can you. You don't need any special tools or equipment to do this series with me. It's for 100% complete beginners. Let's get started. Here's the number one thing I want you to remember about yoga. It's all about the breath. The breath is what makes yoga so unique and separates it from any other form of exercise. For you today, all that means is that I want you to think about breathing in and out through your nose and making those inhales and exhales equal length. Breathing in for 3, breathing out for 3. That simple. Before we bring Jalen in to do the class with you, I'm just going to show you the basic poses we're covering so you know what's coming and how to do it correctly. The first pose we're going to learn is child's pose. This is your home-based pose, and it can be really nice to do with a blanket under your knees. You don't need a fancy yoga blanket. You can pull the duvet off your bed or use anything like a blanket on your couch. Now the knees can be together or the knees can be wide. It's up to you. And then you just drape your body forward. The next pose we'll look at together is tabletop pose. In tabletop pose, you actually adjust. So you want your knees directly under your hips and your shoulders directly over your wrists. And you want to spread your fingers as wide apart as possible. Now remember how I just talked about the breath? We're going to do cat-cow. And cat-cow is all about inhaling and exhaling as you link your movement and your breath. So as you inhale, you curl your toes under and you're just going to open the chest, breathing in. And then you're going to uncurl the toes and take your navel high to the ceiling and round like a big Halloween cat, taking your chin into your chest as you breathe out. It feels natural, right? Try. Inhale, you open the chest, you take the shoulders back. Exhale, you arch. It's like someone punched you in the belly, and you take your low back high to the sky. So we'll flow through this a few times. Cat, cow. Then we'll do downward facing dog. You've probably heard of that one. You're going to curl the toes under, and instead of straightening the legs right away or rounding the upper spine, as I see so many beginners do, we're going to prioritize length in the spine. So you're going to keep your knees deeply bent and send your sitting bones high to the sky. This is actually very difficult because it's working your whole upper body. So it should feel like you're doing handstand in the upper body. And even if you can straighten your legs, for today, just keep them bent so we can prioritize length in our spine. Next, we'll come back down to all fours and we'll come into a low lunge. Low lunges are great because they stretch our psoas and our hips, problem areas for so many people. So you'll just carry your right foot forward and you just always want your ankle to be directly under your knee. That's the safest position. You can take your hands onto your thigh, or you can even use your furniture nearby to stabilize you. This is your low lunge. Then we'll do a low lunge twist. So you'll take your left hand down, curl your left toes under to straighten the back leg, and just reach the arm up. This is also called easy twist. And then we'll do that on the second side. We'll walk you through it. We'll come back to child's pose a lot so we can rest. We'll then come to stand to learn something really important, our Surya Namaskar. You'll walk your feet towards your hands and you'll keep the feet hip width apart and you'll generously bend your knees. You'll hold opposite elbows so you can just sway, and we'll come into what's called our flat back or our prep pose. So see how my spine here is rounded? Now remember, inhales are always associated with length. So inhales, we're always opening the chest. Just like with up cat, down cat, we're opening on the inhale. Exhales are always associated with rounding. So we'll inhale, get long, and we'll exhale, bend the knees and melt forward and allow the upper body to round. We'll inhale, get long. You'll press your hands into your shins, draw your shoulders back, and you'll exhale, round. And then we'll come up to stand, which happens on an inhale because we're opening up to the sky. Surya Namaskar literally means welcoming, saluting the sun. And then we'll exhale to press the arms down. It makes sense, right? We inhale to lift through the nose. We exhale to fold through the nose. And you're always going to bend your knees because otherwise you could hurt your low back. We'll inhale, come into that flat back, and we'll exhale, we'll come back to our all fours prep position, and then come to child's pose. That's it. Those are the poses we're covering today. Let's bring Jalen in and get started. Jalen, come on in. So our first pose is child's pose. So make sure your knees are on the blanket so you're nice and comfortable. And you can take the knees touching or wide. So just try both and see what's most comfortable for you at home. Nice. And right away we see Jalen's seat, unlike when I did it, can't touch his heels. But that's no big deal. We're just gonna put a bolster or a cushion underneath him, right between his hips and his seat, so he's more comfortable. Now you probably don't have a fancy yoga bolster at home. But Jalen, I'm gonna take this away. And right here, I have a big couch cushion that I pulled from our sofa. So you can also just use a couch cushion. Now Jalen's head feels like maybe it can't touch the floor all the way, in which case you can put blocks or just books in your house to make your child's pose a little bit more comfortable. Jalen, how do you feel?
I feel a bit more comfortable.
So now that Jalen's comfortable, and hopefully you too at home feel a little more comfortable, remember you want to use props all the time in yoga. They're your best friend, because our priority is to be able to breathe. And if we're uncomfortable, we can't breathe nice and long and deep like we want to do in yoga. So Jalen, take a deep breath in through your nose and think of your breath expanding your back body, and then exhale through your nose. Take a deep breath in for 3 and a deep breath out for 3. Just focusing on making the inhales and exhales equal length through your nose. Inhaling 3, fill up the body from the inside out with breath. Exhaling for 3. And just think of sending space into your low back. And then think of softening your shoulders. So one thing I love to tell students here is to bring their elbows wide in a diamond shape and bring their middle fingers to touch so they're not reaching with their hands. Perfect. As we do that, do we see how his shoulders get to start to relax? Let's take 3 more deep breaths. So we're just practicing slowing down the breath, because yoga is a practice of slowing down. Perfect. After your next exhale, you're going to rock forward into that all fours tabletop position. So I'll take the block and your bolster off to the side, and you'll line up your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees best you can. Good. And now we'll do that gentle up cat and down cat, but first spread the fingers wide on the mat. So you want to see pie slices of color between each finger. Awesome, Jalen. And then on an in-breath, in through the nose, keeping your low abs pulled in, you'll open the chest. You can curl the toes under. And then on an exhale, it's like that Halloween cat shape, chin into chest, and you're lengthening your tailbone to the space between your knees. And you're just gonna rock through this a few times on your own breath. So inhale, draw the shoulders back. Nice. Exhale, round, 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 round. Awesome. Inhale,
opening. Beautiful. Exhale, draw the navel up to the spine, chin into chest. And Jalen's actually doing his feet the opposite way I instructed, but it's working for him. So you can have the toes curled under, or you can have the feet flat to the floor, or you can be alternating them. It's up to you. Good, do a couple more on your own. So exhaling, hollow out the abs. Inhale, keep the abs pulling in. It's just the upper back that opens. Gorgeous, yes, yes. Exhaling. Last one, breathing in. Beautiful. Breathing out. Now this is where we're going to come into our down dog. So Jalen's going to breathe in, coming into that up cat shape. And then he's going to keep his toes curled under and send his sits bones towards the sky. So he's going to press back into his downward dog. Awesome. Now, this looks good, but I think Jalen can do better. So bend your knees very deep and then press into your palms like crazy and send your sits bones to the sky. So hopefully we see his spine now is a lot more long. And does this feel like a lot of hard work?
Yes.
Yes, it's hard worked. It's harder to do down dog with the knees bent. I'm gonna press into Jalen's hands to get his knuckles glued down. So check your own knuckles. See if you can glue them down onto the mat and keep the fingers spread super wide. Knees are deeply bent. It's like you're thrusting your chest towards your thigh bones. And now see if you can breathe here for just 3 breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Breathing in 3. Exhaling 3, just holding our dog. Nice long spine, pressing the chest towards the thigh bones. Knees are so deeply bent, heels off the ground. Awesome, and then when you're ready for a rest, come back into your child's pose. So taking the knees back down to the blanket and shifting your hips back onto your heels, any props you need, and just resting now for a few breaths. You can take any props or modifications. And once again, you can bring the elbows wide and the middle fingers to touch. So you feel your traps and your shoulders soften and relax. Full 3 slow counts to breathe in. 3 full counts to breathe out. 2 more breaths on your own. Last one. Great work. We're going to come back to our table position. So remember, table is shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and we're stacking so we feel nice and stable. Just for practice, let's do an up cat, opening the chest, and a down cat, rounding. Other teachers call this cat-cow. The cow is when your chest is open. I don't know why. Let's do our cow. And the cat is like that Halloween cat, right, where we're rounding. I just call it up cat, down cat, because I think it's easier. Come into a flat back now, so the spine is just parallel to the ceiling. Hold that right foot, right thigh, and take the foot directly underneath the knee. So you kind of have to carry it up. That's okay. And then check that your knee is directly over your ankle. Nice. And then take your hands to your thigh and take your upper body up in space. Perfect. 3 deep breaths here. So here you should hopefully be feeling a stretch in the front of the left psoas, that muscle that helps us walk and ambulate all day long. Draw the shoulders down and back. Lift the chest, and then allow your hips to get heavy and sink down, but keep a little bit of energy between your inner thighs, so the inner thighs are also hugging together. So the other thing we're going to explore in these classes today is about how yoga is a balance of stretch and strength. People think yoga is just about flexibility, but it's actually about the balance between flexibility and strength. So we don't want to overdo it in our stretch, and we don't want to just muscle into things either. If you have blocks at home, you could take blocks on either side and take your hands to the blocks. Nice. Nice. Pressing into the blocks is gonna allow Jalen to roll his shoulders down and back and open the chest more. Last breath here. Let's set up for our twist. So curl your back left toes under as a first step. Take your left hand underneath your shoulder if it's not already. If it's on a block or some furniture, just put it right on the floor. And straighten the left leg. So you should feel a little bit of a different stretch. And then take the right hand high to the sky. So you're coming into a twist. Beautiful. Squeeze the inner thighs together. And then think of kicking through that back heel. Nice adjustment, Jalen. Kicking through that back left heel. So the back leg gets stick straight. Back left leg is stick straight. Awesome. And then we're spiraling chest to ceiling. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Last 3. Keep those long, slow inhales and exhales through the nose. Last 2. Last 1. Awesome. On an exhale, let the arm drift down to frame the foot and shift back into your child's pose. So knees just drop to the mat. Sit back and rest. 3 long, slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Every in-breath, you're thinking of widening your low back with your breathing. So you want to imagine you could breathe laterally, getting wider. Most of us just breathe up in our chest all day. So breathe down into your belly. Fill up your low back with air. And on your exhale, feel your abs pull in. Get all the stale air out of the body. Long, slow, deep in. Long, slow, deep out. Once more on your own. And when you're ready, gently rock forward to your table pose, and we'll do the second side. First, find your stability in your table, shoulders over wrists. Maybe take the knees a little farther apart, spread through the fingers and press down through the knuckles so you have your nice strong table. Then you can take your left hand to your left thigh to kind of carry it forward into that lunge. And remember, we're patting the back right knee, so there shouldn't be any discomfort on the back knee. And then Jalen will take his hands to his thigh and press himself up into his lunge. Beautiful. We're checking that the knee's directly over the ankle, and he can allow his hips to sink a little bit forward and down to get a deeper stretch. Beautiful. Roll the shoulders down and back. Let the inhale inflate the chest and the upper body. And let the hips be heavy and sink down. But in opposition to that, the inner thighs squeeze together just gently. So we're looking for that balance between strength and flexibility. Beautiful. On this side, because we know where we are, if it feels safe, maybe lift the arms up. You can always have the hands on the blocks like we showed on the first side, or just keep the hands on the thigh, your choice. Beautiful. On an exhale, let's take the arms down. Right hand underneath the shoulder this time. We'll curl the right toes underneath us and find our power by strengthening and lengthening that back right leg. So we're coming into a runner's lunge. And then we'll reach the left hand this time high to the sky to come into our twist. Beautiful. Let's take your back leg back just a touch, because we want to keep checking that that knee stays directly over the ankle. So back it up just a little bit more for me. That's good. Nice. Back leg is super strong. Power out the back right heel. And then if you want, take your right hand a little closer to your left foot. Yes, and see if that helps you get a little bit more spin. Beautiful. Squeeze the inner thighs together. It's a lot of work. Last 2. Last 1. Awesome. Left hand drifts down on an exhale. Come back to your child's pose. You can take the back knee to the blanket, meeting back up to rest. How'd those lunges feel, Jalen? Did you feel a stretch in the front of the leg? Yes. Child's pose is all about recentering ourselves and recapturing our breath. Every inhale, you're just filling up your torso like it was a balloon. Inhale, fill it up so much. And every exhale, see if you can contract your abs a little bit to get all the breath out, out, out. All right, for our last thing, we're gonna look at Surya A, a salute to the sun. This is one of the most traditional yoga moves. As you're ready, you'll come out from your child's pose and onto that tabletop position, your all fours position. Beautiful. And then as you're ready, you're gonna press back into your down dog, but first, spread the fingers wide, press down through the knuckles, curl your toes under, send your sitting bones high to the sky, send your sits bones to where the back wall meets the ceiling, like it's hanging from a chandelier. Bend your knees so deep, even more, it's like the knees almost tap the mat, and press your chest towards your thigh bones so you can find length, length, length in the spine. 3 deep breaths here. It should feel like you're doing handstand in the upper body. It's super challenging. Keep grounding down through the index finger, knuckle, and thumb, and think of your biceps spinning away from your ears. That's it. Awesome. Last 2 breaths. Good. And then you're just going to gently now walk your feet towards your hands and your hands towards your feet. So you just come to a standing forward fold at the center of your mat or towards the top. The feet are hip width apart, so look down at your feet and check out that all 10 toes are facing forward. So take your feet hip width apart, so farther apart. All 10 toes face forward. Bend the knees deeply, hold opposite elbows, and just sway a little bit side to side. Good. So we're not looking for a stretch in the legs right now. We're gonna do so many poses later that are gonna stretch the back of the legs. Right now we just wanna traction the low back, find length in the spine. So you can bend the knees super deep. And then we're gonna come into our flat back. So Jalen, as you inhale, take your hands to your shins and get long. Tail to crown of head. So this is really tricky, so keep the knees bent. And now as you inhale, you're gonna get long, so draw your shoulder blades together. That's it. Come up halfway. See the difference? Exhale, bend the knees, fold, and it's okay now to drape and round. That's it. So the inhale, you draw the shoulder blades down, engage the abs, do a little flat back. Even more, come up almost halfway. Yep, and then exhale, fold. Inhale. You don't have to straighten the legs all the way, it's just you get the spine long. And then you exhale, fold and melt. It's okay to round. Try a couple more on your own. Inhale, glide the shoulder blades down and back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, it's like you come halfway up and you're flat. Yes. Exhale, fold. Last one. Inhale, come halfway up, glide your shoulder blades down and back. Take your head in line with your hips. Yep. And then exhale, fold. Awesome. Inhale, circle your arms down, around, and up to stand. So you're gonna reach all the way up, like a big stretch. And then exhale, just press the air away. Take the hands by your hips. Beautiful. So just gonna do that again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees. So spine is long, swan dive forward. Inhale into that half lift. So the shoulders glide down and back. Spine is parallel to the ceiling. So it's like you come halfway up and then you exhale. Just kidding, right? You fold. Inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up. We come back up to stand. Circle them wide, spread the palms, energy through all the fingers. Exhale, hands by the hips, stand tall. Good. We'll do 2 more, getting in a rhythm. Breathing in, reach up, press down through the feet. Exhale, bend the knees deeply, swan dive forward. Bend the knees, bend the knees, bend the knees. Inhale, half lift, press the hands into the shins, glide your shoulder blades down and back, come into your flat back. Breathe out, fold, bend the knees deeper. Inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up. Energy through the biceps. It's like you're carving the air, like it's thick and heavy. Exhale, press the air away, stand tall. Good. We'll take it back down to the ground. This is Surya A. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Great job, Jalen, breathing in and out through the nose. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, come into that half lift. Press the hands into the shins. Draw the shoulder blades down and back. Exhale, step back to your all fours position. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Awesome. Inhale, come into that little up cat. Spread the fingers wide, little up. Exhale, hollow it out, round, chin into chest, let the head drop, tailbone towards the knees. Inhale, half. Exhale, round. Beautiful. Do 1 more on your own, and then as you're ready, you'll press back to your child's pose. No rush. These cat-cows are looking amazing. Good. And pressing back to child's pose as you're ready. Just rest and breathe into your low back. And deep breath in. And deep breath out. Now in yoga, we always take as our final pose, no matter what, Shavasana, which is called corpse pose. And it's where we just get to fully rest and feel into the practice that just happened. It gives our body a moment to relax and restore. So Jalen, as you're ready, gently press yourself up. So you'll just come to sit. Yep, and then we'll get rid of the bolster. You'll just come to lie down on your back. And just lie down on your back with your feet at the top of the mat. Beautiful. And a lot of times it feels nice to take that couch cushion or blanket or whatever you have underneath your knees, because most of America has low back pain. And sometimes even just lying down like this can tweak our low back. So put that couch cushion or rolled up blankets under the knees. Is it more comfortable that way?
Yes.
Great. And then turn the palms just either face up or face down. Take a deep, deep, deep breath in. So feel your back body expand along the mat. And now you can open the mouth to exhale. Just like a sigh. Huge breath in, fill the back body with breath. And now open the mouth. Last one like that. Huge breath in. Exhale, just let everything go. And now just rebound into any breath that's natural. You're just gonna rest here fully, absorbing the benefits of your practice for around 10 breaths or so. And let the bones of the body get heavy. Resist the temptation to run off or start the next thing or stop the video. Integrating this work by resting is essential. And it's one of the most important components of yoga. If thoughts come up or you're thinking of your to-do list, it's okay. You're still receiving the benefits of taking this rest. Gently now wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can rub the thumbs over the pads of the fingers. Draw one knee into the chest and then the other. So just kind of giving yourself a squeeze or curling up into a little ball. Perfect. And then you're just gonna roll over to your right side. So you can use your right forearm as a pillow, left hand on the mat, and just to rest. And then keeping your eyes closed and your attention in, you'll press yourself up. So staying lying on your side, just press into your left hand to come up to sit. Awesome. Jalen already wants to keep stretching, which I'm going to take as a good sign. We'll see you guys tomorrow. From our hearts to yours, namaste.